thing, because he's never seen Godfather.
Right.
I wouldn't say that. I've seen them both, but he's never seen Godfather, so I'll probably go with the one he already likes.
That's the easy pick.
You guys ready to get started?
Ready.
This is your forecast. And your forecast is it's hot outside. We're breaking records.
Super hot.
Way too hot.
You're still sweating after
Yes.
chilling out for like 2 hours.
I was just in my tank top, but it was getting uncomfortable. So
Thank goodness he put a shirt on, fellas.
what else is uncomfortable to me is that guy in your league who always waits for the new person to come in. You got replacement owners every once in a while come in. There's one guy that always has to try to rip him off. When you get into a new league, there's going to be a guy that sends you a trade offer and within the first 5 minutes that you're in the league.
For sure.
You want to reject this trade. And for everybody listening right now, you do not want to be this guy. Either one of these guys. If you couldn't tell, this is a bit of a sore subject for me right now in this moment. Because I'm in my personal league. And correct me if I'm wrong here, fellas, but I think this is kind of a ridiculous trade that just went down. Mari Cooper, Joe Mixon, George Kittle. This is what he gets. What he gives is Kyler Murray, Greg Dortch. Is it Greg?
Yeah.
Greg Dortch, yeah.
And Tommy.
Tommy Tremble. 2000. These are all 2025 picks here. 2nd, 4th, 5th. He does throw in a 2023 4th and 5th. So basically, it's Kyler Murray, and a bunch of lottery tickets. Am I way off here, or is that that's a pretty bad trade, right?
I agree, but I know other people don't. I don't see the value in almost anything other than Kyler Murray, and all those other guys are number ones on their team, and probably number 1 or 2s in fantasy. So I don't like it.
Yeah, I think the guy who got Kyler, I know he was the new guy in the league, so it's always tough. Like you said, you want to reject that first trade. But what he should be doing is obviously, new guy comes in, everybody's going to be like, oh, maybe he wants to do something different with the team. Let's go send him offers. He needs to chill out. That's free information. You know what everybody in the league thinks about your players, and you can make a lot of assumptions based on what you're getting offers
Yeah, I
on
want
right
to see
there.
this guy's DMs. Because
Yeah,
I know
exactly. They probably blew up.
Yeah. It's like, hey, I can get like good players for cheap. I'm just going to DM this guy or send him trades.
So for a little context, it is a super flex league, so getting Kyler is a nice bump. I don't know what the rest of his roster looks like, but I think if he was very close to actually having a decent return here for what he gave up. The problem is that everything besides Kyler Murray, like you said, you called them lottery tickets. I wouldn't even call them that. They're like $1 scratchers with a $10 top prize.
Yeah.
Like there is no huge thing. I would, instead of that, I think it was 7 other options. I would rather take all 7 of those and tell them to keep them and just say, give me A.J. Dillon or give me David Montgomery or literally any running back on the roster this year who has a chance at taking snaps. And then he can, go from there in the future. But, yeah, I'm assuming the guy who traded away Kyler and all of that junk is in a position where he wants to win this year. So Kyler isn't going to help him a whole lot, and neither are any of those picks that are 3 years from now. So good for him, but, like you said, it's not exactly a classy move to come in and smack the new guy in the mouth.
Definitely nothing classy about this. And it took the guy joined the league, and I'm telling you, this trade went down like 3 hours after the guy joined the league. So, but it just seems to happen so often in the leagues that I'm in, and the league that we're in together. We all know each other, but when you're with a group of strangers, it just always seems like this is kind of stuff that happens, and it ends up ruining the league. It's frustrating for me, and you just got to be careful about who you're getting in with.
There's a lot of trades that you look at, like this one. You're obviously going to say that the one team who got the really good Amari Cooper or George Kittle, you think that they're going to win the trade, but then there's sometimes that where it comes back, you look at it a year or two later, and you're like, wow, actually, it's kind of like the other guy won. Because like I know my brother was talking about that with the Terry McLaurin trade. I think it was Terry McLaurin, T. Higgins, and stuff like that. And
Right.
like he was like, yeah, like this is an easy win because he got DeAndre Hopkins and Julio Jones. But after what happens to them and retirement, the suspension, you're just like, well, maybe he didn't win.
Yeah,
So-
it's tough to not be reactionary with trades, but especially in Dynasty, it's sometimes you just have to bite your tongue and say, I'll see how it pans out. But
Yeah.
That's my pet. So we're talking about pet peeves here, maybe. Let's go into that. That was my pet peeve. Jacob, what's yours? Tell me what your trade pet peeve is.
I think my biggest pet peeve is, and I talk about it all the time when people, I guess, talk about trades. It's when somebody offers you or likes one of your players and they only DM you and just say, "What's your price on this guy? What's your price on Dalvin Cook? What's your price on whoever?"
that's the worst.
I'm not going to respond to you. I don't feel like putting in 90% of the effort to get rid of one of my guys. If you like one of my guys, look at my team. Maybe look at something you can do for me, or a good value trade, and then send it in. Or even if you send something that I don't like that I can put onto something. I mean, there's a chance that I just don't respond to that either. If you just totally lowball me, then I'll just be like, oh, no, I'm not responding to that. But there is a chance I'll be like, all right, throw in first, and then, that's a pretty even trade or whatever. But just telling me, hey, what's your bottom dollar for this guy? I'm just not going to do that. And, it's just no point for me to respond to that.
I would say this. There is one little difference where if he's just wondering what it is that you're interested in, not how much.
Yeah, no,
like
for
if you're
sure.
interested in picks,
Yeah.
are you interested in winning now? What position?
And maybe I just read into it wrong because you only see it in text through DMs. But I'll just be like, if somebody wants to ask me, hey, like what positions are you looking for, so that I can, it can be a good trade for us both. Whatever, I'm cool with that. But it just seems like to me they want to know my bottom dollar, and I don't want to start out with my bottom dollar, obviously.
Right. I think a lot of the worry is people don't want to come in and your bottom dollar is way lower than their first offer.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh my gosh, like if I send a trade offer out and it gets accepted, my first thoughts are, "Oh,
Yeah.
crap, I overpaid."
Yeah.
Like I could have got him for less because if I send you an offer and you don't counter or respond or something, I definitely overpaid. If you just smash accept an inbox offer, that's how I
Yeah.
feel. But it's really sucks when you don't even get inbox offers. You just get a DM and they say, "Hey,
Yeah.
I'd like to give you my 5th round pick for your best player."
Yeah.
What's your pet peeve, Nate?
My biggest pet peeve would probably be when I receive a trade offer that doesn't take anything on my team into account. So if I, say I have Breece Hall and I put him on the trade block, and I already have Deebo Samuel on my roster, don't come offer me Brandon Ayuk and a 1st-round pick. You didn't take a second to look at my team. You went on Keep Trade Cut or any of these Dynasty trade calculators, and you said, okay, it evens out, we're good to go. But if you're not going to take the time to at least look at my team and consider what I would want in return for a player, then it makes it hard to trade with that person. And that's probably, I don't know. It's a big turnoff for me when especially in newer leagues when I don't know everybody very well.
You couldn't take 2 seconds to just look and see that this guy has 5 quarterbacks, and now you're offering him Josh Allen for Breece Hall.
For anything. Yeah,
whatever.
it's,
I mean, like,
Yeah.
it like you said, it only takes 2 seconds. I mean, you're already on my team to click on the player. Just look at every other name there, and you know.
So would you say that's one of your strategies as far as making trade offers? Making trade offers is balancing everything out.
For sure, I think getting into the headspace of what the other person would want to do with their team is probably the first step for me when trying to make a trade. So if I know I really want a player, like say I want A.J. Brown, okay, I'm going to go look at his team, and I need to put myself in a position where I'm looking at his team like it's mine. What would I be wanting to do? Is there anything I would actually take for A.J. Brown? And then I need to go from there, because if it doesn't seem like I'm giving him a real offer, that he's probably not going to respond. Kind of like you said earlier, Jake, with, if I'm going to hit you with a super low ball right off the bat, why are you even going to respond to that? We're not on the same playing field on that player evaluation, so it's not worth any of our time.
Yeah, I think you need to, when you're going into a trade, you definitely got to look at their team and be like, I want this guy, so I'm going to send this guy something to where he wants to trade with me. I'm not going to send him some lowball offer so that, they're just totally turned off. I'm really petty. I'm a really petty person. So,
I respect that. I really respect that.
So, if you tell me, hey, this bum player for a good player, I'm, literally going to make it so that I don't give you that player. You could send me a trade offer that I actually kind of like the next week, and I'll be like, nah, I don't like the way you trade. So
see,
nah.
these are the things that trade calculators don't show. You don't see that when you type in two players. That it doesn't take into account that Jake is a super petty owner, and 3 years ago you might have offered him a terrible trade, and guess what? He remembers. He knows. Because as soon as you send him another trade offer, you're done. He's coming for you.
Dude, that's the thing about Dynasty as opposed to redraft is you have to trade in order to be successful.
For sure.
And these are long-term things, so it's all about relationships. One of my strategies is if there's a player that I want, I overpay for that player if need be. And then that's with the hopes that maybe one day when they want somebody, it's going to be a little bit more reasonable and we can work something out. It doesn't always work out.
Right.
Because some people are petty.
Yeah, some people, when they realize they got their boot on your throat, they don't pick it up. They keep it there.
These are the guys that look for that new guy in the league. And
hey, you don't know because we never had a new guy in our league. So
which kudos to us. That's big time
really
for a group of guys who don't all know each other coming together, and we're year 4, year 5, still going strong. No orphans. I don't see us having one anytime soon.
Well, one good thing is about our league is everybody's associated with either me and Jacob, so we all do one way or the other know each other, and it's a lot better than one.